this particular piece has a really weird way of opening it. It took me a while to figure out what to do, but it turns out there's a little button here that you push in, and then another button here that has to be, basically have to press on both sides, and it opens up like a book. So it's a very strange way of opening it. You just have to depress on this side and on this side and just pull. And yeah, it looks like this piece actually had a bursted capacitor in it. Okay, so now that we saw a little bit of how the computer looks, we're going to go ahead and open it up. You can see a little arrow on the bottom saying which direction you need to pull up on. And yeah, as you can see, it opens up just like a book. We're going to use our Phillips head screwdriver, which is just an electric one I got at Harbor Freight, and I am first removing all of the ribbon cables connecting the top to the bottom of the computer. They're a little tied up, so it's a little tricky. And now we're removing the USB interface board on the front. And yeah, there it is. It's just got an LED on it and a USB port. Now we took out the floppy drive, and after removing some more cabling, we are pretty much done with the front for now. So now we are going to the bottom of the case, which has most of the components in it. We just moved some cables out of the way here, and now we are working on the card area, and we have a sound card here, a sound blaster live, pretty good. And we are now removing the modem board with its cable attached to it, as well as the video card, which should come out in just a moment. There it is. Pretty standard, nothing special here. Putting the cover latch back on, we are now going to work on removing the fan. However, we are going to see that it is quite difficult, so to get that out of the way, we're going to take out the power supply. And this is just a standard power supply, nothing special here. And it's kind of hard to get out, but then I realized there is a small bit of metal holding it in place, so holding that down, we are able to remove the power supply. Taking out the cabling and everything, we are now able to finally attack the fan. As you can see, it has a green shroud on it. And now we just take out the cabling, whatever's left of it. And now we're going to look at removing the board. So we switch out the bit to a hex bit and take out the screws holding the motherboard in place. Now I'm going to be kind of doing a commentary on all these computers just like this, so I hope you enjoy. And I got a new improvement to my microphone, so hopefully my voice will sound more clear. So yeah, I'm having a little bit of a difficulty getting out that heatsink and motherboard, but we just went ahead and removed that by pulling back on the plastic tabs. As you can see, we have our pinned processor. It's just a small fiber, nothing valuable in particular, but those pins will have some nice gold plating on them. So now we will remove and continue to remove the motherboard. However, the motherboard is still causing some problems, mainly because of the black plastic around the motherboard and around where the CPU was, where the heatsink was attached. So now we are just breaking off the plastic with some wire cutters. There's a lot of little pieces of plastic holding it in place, so I'm just kind of breaking it apart here. But yeah, I was very surprised in being able to get all these, and I am definitely younger in this clip because I was actually working on these back when I was around 17, and now I'm already 21, which is just wild. So, you know, definitely got some historical footage here. Even in the beginning, we had our old car that we haven't had for quite a while. So it was nice to see that once again. So yeah, now I'm just removing some additional plastic. And we finally get that board out. It has a battery on it as always, so that's something to keep in mind to take out before selling. Be sure you remove all batteries off of circuit boards. And now we are going to attempt to remove the front panel, because that will contain one additional circuit board which was around the power button. And I believe what we're going to do is we're going to pull down on the plastic in the front in order to free up the front panel. We just took off the plastic around the battery, or not the battery, but the light and button assembly in the front where you would turn on the power to the computer. And we took off the bottom black case, and now we are going to use our screwdriver to basically pry off the front panel from the bottom up. We finally take that out and we have access to the little tiny board, just an ordinary low-grade board, nothing special. And we got that out, and it has a little cable attached to it, so we get a little bonus wire as well. So now we put the case back on and put the bottom piece back on as well. So we put that up, and that is that. So you can see a nice photo of the remaining case. We had some screws and some springs. We had 3 cards here, pretty nice. Nothing special. We also got our front USB panel, as well as the tiny little button panel next to it. We had a Pentium 4 pinned processor, nothing special, as well as our floppy drive. On top of the CPU was a nice heatsink. That is definitely a good source of aluminum, as well as our motor for our fan to cool the CPU down. We also got a bunch of cabling. You can see 2 profiles of the case, and that's it. So pretty good. And let's go ahead and move on to computer number 2.